The airlock hissed as it sealed behind Captain Aaron Voss. The cold, metallic corridor of the starship Aurora seemed emptier than usual. Lights flickered faintly above, casting long shadows across the polished floor. Aaron's boots clicked against the metal as he walked, carrying a small maintenance kit. Tonight, the ship was alive with tension. Lieutenant Kayla Wren, the communications officer, stood by the observation window. Her silhouette was framed against the endless black of space, dotted with stars that glimmered like scattered diamonds. "You're not going anywhere tonight," she said firmly without turning around. There was an edge to her voice, but also something unspoken, a warning or perhaps a challenge. Aaron froze, holding the tool in his hand. "Kayla, I'm just checking the auxiliary engines. The readings were off this morning." She finally turned, her blue eyes reflecting the starlight. Her uniform was neat, her stance unwavering. "I know exactly why you want to go out there," she said softly. "But the patrol drones haven't confirmed the perimeter. If you leave now, you risk more than just your life." Aaron took a deep breath, trying to steady himself. "I've been trained for this. I've faced worse in the asteroid belts near Epsilon Prime. This ship, our crew, it's my responsibility." Kayla stepped closer. The hum of the ship filled the silence between them. "And I'm saying that responsibility doesn't mean recklessness. There's something out there tonight, something unusual. I saw it on the sensors. You don't know what it is." Aaron's curiosity ignited. The last time the ship's sensors picked up an anomaly, it had been an uncharted planet with traces of alien technology. That mission had changed their crew forever. Humans had discovered yet again that they were capable of incredible things when faced with the unknown. He wanted to see, to understand, to act. "You always worry too much," he said with a half smile, though his heart raced. "I'll take precautions." "I won't do anything reckless," Kayla shook her head. "Precautions won't matter if it's intelligent or hostile." Aaron didn't answer immediately. Instead, he stepped toward the side hatch. Outside, the vastness of space called to him, silent but alive. The stars stretched into constellations that no human eye had named yet, and somewhere in that darkness might be answers or danger. Kayla followed him, placing a hand on the hatch console. "If you insist on going, then at least promise me one thing." "What's that?" "Promise me you'll trust your instincts. But listen to the crew. We survive as a team, not as lone heroes." Aaron nodded. He had learned over the years that Kayla's instincts were often sharper than his own. She had saved him more times than he cared to admit. "I promise." With that, he activated the outer suit lock and the hatch slowly opened. A hiss of pressurized air escaped as the vacuum of space pressed against the reinforced barrier. Aaron stepped into the void, tethered to the ship by a bright blue cord that glimmered in the starlight. His movements were careful, deliberate. Every inch of the external hull was familiar. Yet tonight it seemed different, almost alive. The anomaly Kayla mentioned had appeared near the southern quadrant of the ship, just beyond the external thruster arrays. On the scanner, it was a faint signal, irregular and pulsing like a heartbeat. Aaron's suit sensors picked it up as well. He reached the designated panel and crouched, beginning to inspect the system. The humming of the ship mixed with the faint pulse from the anomaly. It wasn't mechanical. It was organic. Aaron frowned. Humans had seen strange things in space, but nothing that resembled life in this form. A sudden flicker of light from the distance caught his attention. The stars didn't behave that way. A shadow moved, fast, precise, almost aware. Aaron's heart skipped a beat. "Kayla," he spoke into the comms, "I think you were right. This isn't just a sensor glitch." Her voice came back immediately, calm but tense. "Stay where you are. I'm initiating lockdown protocols. If it moves closer, the ship will shield itself automatically. Don't panic." Aaron took a deep breath. Panic was useless. Fear could freeze a person's mind. But humans had survived in worse conditions than the vacuum of space. They had built, explored, and even thrived where no other species could. That instinct, that determination, that was what Kayla counted on him for. The shadow approached, slower now, almost as if it were studying him. And then he saw it clearly. A shimmering, translucent form, taller than any human, yet faintly humanoid. Its surface glowed with soft blue patterns flowing like liquid. The anomaly wasn't a machine. It was a being, a living creature that moved with purpose and intelligence. Aaron froze for a moment. Humans had encountered strange life before, but this was new. His mind raced, fear, awe, excitement all mixed into one. The being seemed to recognize him. Its pulsing patterns accelerated, then slowed again, almost as if it were communicating in a rhythm. Kayla's voice broke through his thoughts. "Do you see it?" "Yes," he whispered. It's not hostile." "Not yet." "Good, then don't provoke it," she warned. "We don't know its limits." Aaron extended a hand slowly, instinctively. The being mirrored him, extending a faintly glowing limb toward his glove. There was a spark of understanding, a bridge forming between human and alien, momentary but profound. And then, without warning, a sharp vibration ran through the ship. The comms crackled. "Hull breach detected. Southern quadrant," Kayla shouted. "Aaron, get back now!" He glanced at the being. It had recoiled slightly, as if startled, but it did not flee. Its glow intensified, spreading across the hull like a warning signal. Aaron gritted his teeth and secured the panel. He had to get inside, for the ship, for the crew, for the chance to survive and understand what they were witnessing. Humans had always faced the unknown with courage, and tonight they would prove it again. With careful movements, he started back along the tether. The shadows of space shifted. The being followed at a distance, neither threatening nor abandoning. And as he re-entered the airlock, the doors sealing behind him, Aaron realized something profound. Humanity had always thrived because it faced danger not with submission, but with curiosity, intelligence, and unity. Kayla was waiting, her expression a mixture of relief and wonder. "You made it back?" "Yes," Aaron replied, breathless but determined. "And we've just met something extraordinary. Something we need to understand." Her eyes sparkled with determination. "Then we start tonight. Together." Outside, the stars stretched endlessly, but inside, two humans were ready to face whatever the universe had in store. Fearless, resilient, and undeniably human. The air in the command deck was thick with tension, as Captain Aaron Voss removed his helmet, letting the cool, recycled oxygen fill his lungs. The lights flickered intermittently, reminders that the ship had barely escaped disaster. Kayla Wren was already at the main console, her fingers flying across the holographic display as she checked the hull integrity and sensor readings. "We're lucky the breach wasn't critical," she said, her voice calm but urgent. "The southern quadrant sustained only minor damage. But the readings from that being are still abnormal. I've never seen energy patterns like this." Aaron nodded, his mind racing. "It wasn't hostile," he said. "Not directly. But its presence triggered the hull breach alarm. That means it's powerful enough to affect the ship. We need to understand it before it causes something irreversible." Kayla leaned back slightly, her eyes narrowing at the displays. "Understanding it will require more than scans. We need data, observation, maybe even direct interaction, but safely. If it's intelligent, it will react differently to humans than it does to our machines." Aaron rubbed his temples. "And yet it followed me to the airlock. That's a kind of communication, isn't it?" Kayla glanced at him. "Or curiosity. Intelligence without reason can be dangerous too." The tension in the room was suddenly broken by a low, rhythmic pulse vibrating through the ship. The deck lights danced in time with the pulse. Even without the sensors, Aaron could feel it. The being was outside waiting, or signaling. "Kayla," he said, his voice steady but alert, "we need to make contact, carefully. But first we need to ensure the ship is prepared. Emergency shields, external drones on standby, and full comm logs. I don't want us caught off guard." Kayla nodded, already inputting commands. "I'll have the drones deployed in 5 minutes. Shields will be online, but we may need manual override if it reacts too strongly." Aaron glanced at the observation window. The translucent being floated outside the ship, its soft blue patterns glowing in pulses like a heartbeat. It seemed to move with purpose, almost as if it were aware of every human action inside the ship. "This is it," Aaron muttered. "The first chance humans have had in decades to encounter something beyond our understanding, without immediate hostility. And we might be the first to communicate." Kayla's voice was firm. "Remember, Aaron? Caution first, curiosity second. We survive because we think. Humans thrive because we adapt. Don't forget that." He nodded, checking his suit and the tether system one more time. "I won't. Let's do this together." The airlock opened, and Aaron stepped outside once again. The vastness of space stretched endlessly, a silent canvas of black studded with distant stars. The being hovered nearby, motionless but radiant, Aaron moved carefully, his boots tethered and his suit thrusters controlled. The rhythm of its glow changed as he approached, faster now, almost like a question. Aaron slowed, holding his hand steady. Then he extended it, palm open, in a universal gesture of peace. The being mirrored the motion, extending one of its glowing limbs toward him. The pulse intensified as their hands met across the vacuum, separated by just a few meters. A stream of energy flowed between them, faint, almost imperceptible, but it was there. Communication. Recognition. Aaron's heart pounded. Humanity had never faced the unknown with such a direct connection before. Then a sudden alert rang in his helmet. The southern quadrant sensors were picking up a strange energy surge. Something was changing. Kayla's voice came through urgently. "Aaron, the readings are spiking. Its energy signature is interacting with the hull systems. You need to get back inside." Aaron hesitated, torn between retreat and discovery. He studied the being carefully. Its form was delicate, but the energy it emitted was immense. Every pulse seemed to resonate with the ship, almost as if it were testing the boundaries. "You're right," he said into the comm. "Returning now." But as he moved, a sudden shift in the being's glow startled him. The pulses became erratic, almost desperate. It moved closer to the hull but didn't attack. Instead, it seemed in pain, concern. Aaron's instincts told him to act carefully. He extended a small energy probe from his suit designed for environmental readings. Slowly, he reached toward the being, sending a neutral signal. The creature paused, then pulsed in response, synchronized with the probe. Kayla's voice was tense. "It's responding to you, but keep the distance. Don't let it touch the ship directly." Aaron nodded. He realized then that the being wasn't a threat. It was trying to interact, maybe even help stabilize the ship. Its energy pulses were not random. They were intelligent, almost deliberate. Minutes passed. The rhythm of the being's glow began to match the ship's auxiliary power flow. Slowly, the hull vibrations decreased. The breach alarms quieted. Aaron stepped back, marveling at what they had just achieved. "Kyla," he said, voice filled with awe, "it's helping. It saved the ship." There was silence for a moment. Then Kayla's voice, soft but amazed, replied, "Humans survive because we adapt. We thrive because we understand. And tonight we just found someone willing to help us in return." Aaron smiled behind his helmet. For decades, humans had faced impossible odds. Cosmic storms, alien environments, and dangerous worlds. And each time, it was ingenuity, courage, and unity that carried them through. Tonight was no different. The being pulsed slowly now, almost as if acknowledging them, then moved back toward the vast black expanse. Aaron watched, knowing this was only the beginning. First contact had been made. And humans would rise to the challenge just as they always had. He re-entered the airlock, breathing easier now. Kayla was waiting, her expression unreadable but thoughtful. "That was extraordinary," she said simply. "Yes," Aaron replied, removing his helmet. "And it proves one thing. Humans can face the unknown, and not just surviving, we can thrive." Kayla nodded. "But now comes the real test. If it's intelligent, it might return. Or it might lead us somewhere, into new dangers. We'll need to be ready." Aaron smiled faintly. "We are always ready. That's what makes us human." The ship hummed softly around them, the lights steady now. Outside, the stars stretched endlessly, silent witnesses to humanity's resilience. And somewhere in that darkness, the being drifted away, leaving a trail of soft blue light, a signal, perhaps, that the universe was far larger, far stranger, and far more inviting than they had ever imagined. Inside the ship, the crew prepared for what lay ahead. Data logs, sensor readings, and strategic plans filled the command deck. Humanity had once again been tested, and once again it had shown its strength. Aaron and Kayla stood side by side, looking out at the void. They had faced the unknown together and had emerged not only unscathed but enlightened. The universe was vast, mysterious, and sometimes dangerous. Yet humans had always found a way to rise above. And tonight they had a new ally. The first contact was made, but the story was far from over. Tomorrow the ship would venture deeper, explore further, and confront whatever the universe held. And humanity, with its courage, intelligence, and indomitable spirit, would be ready, because that was what humans did. The next morning, the Aurora drifted silently through the inky blackness of space. Outside, the stars glittered like scattered gems, indifferent to the small drama unfolding on the ship. Inside, however, the crew was awake and alert. Every eye followed the main screens, every hand ready at a console or tool. Humanity had survived the first encounter, but now the true challenge lay ahead. Captain Aaron Voss stood on the bridge, staring at the readouts from the previous night. The being, whatever it was, had left a subtle trail of energy behind. It wasn't random. It was deliberate, a kind of cosmic breadcrumb leading them somewhere beyond known space. Kayla Rin joined him quietly. "You're thinking what I'm thinking," she said. Aaron nodded. "We follow it. But carefully. This isn't just curiosity anymore. It's a chance to learn, to advance, to prove humans can meet the unknown on their terms." Kayla studied the energy trail. "The signature is unlike anything we've recorded. It's stable yet dynamic. If it's intelligent, it may even guide us to a location. Or a test. Then we're ready," Aaron said, his voice calm but filled with resolve. "Prepare the drones. Activate full shields. And keep communication lines open at all times." The crew moved with practiced efficiency. Humans had spent centuries in space, surviving hostile planets, meteor storms, and unstable technology. Every member knew that preparation and quick thinking could mean the difference between life and death. That knowledge, that adaptability, was the reason humanity thrived. Within minutes, the Aurora was ready. The energy trail flickered on the navigation screen, pulsing steadily as if marking a path through the darkness. Slowly, Aaron gave the order. "Follow the trail. Maintain distance. Proceed cautiously." The ship glided forward, its engines humming a soft, confident note. Outside, the stars seemed unchanged, yet everything felt different. They were no longer alone in the unknown. Something was out there, intelligent and aware. Hours passed in tense silence. Occasionally, the energy trail pulsed faster or brighter, almost like a signal. Each time, the crew adjusted the ship's course, following faithfully. The being's path took them further than they had ever dared to travel. The blackness outside seemed alive, filled with the subtle presence of something extraordinary. Finally, the trail led them to a small, uncharted planet. Unlike Earth, it was not blue and green. Its surface glowed faintly, covered in crystalline formations that shimmered with soft light. Atmosphere readings were stable, but unlike anything humans had seen before. Aaron's voice cut through the bridge. "We've reached it. Prepare the landing craft, suit up. We're going down." Kayla looked out the window, awed. "It's beautiful, but alien. Every crystal emits energy. It's almost alive." "Yes," Aaron agreed. "And that's exactly why we're here. We have to explore, but carefully. Remember, humans survive by thinking, by observing, by adapting. Every step counts." The landing craft detached from the ship and descended slowly toward the surface. The crystalline ground sparkled, reflecting the ship's lights. The atmosphere was breathable, but the air shimmered with strange energy. Each breath felt heavier, yet invigorating, as if the planet itself was aware of their presence. When the craft touched down, Aaron and Kayla led the team outside. Every movement was measured, every sensor reading recorded. Humans were explorers, problem solvers, survivors. And here, on a new world, they were facing a puzzle unlike any before. The being appeared again, hovering near the crystalline formations. Its glow pulsed in a pattern that seemed almost like a greeting. Aaron extended his hand instinctively, and the creature mirrored him, then darted slightly toward the nearest crystal formation. Kayla pointed at the crystals. "Look, it's trying to show us something. Maybe it wants us to interact with the planet." Aaron studied the formations carefully. They're not just rocks. Each crystal seems to store energy or information, and the being knows it. The crew began examining the crystals, taking samples and readings. As they worked, the energy pulses from the being grew stronger, almost guiding them. Every crystal seemed to respond differently to touch, light, or vibration. It was as if the planet itself was alive and the being was a guardian, communicating through the crystalline network. Hours passed. The team collected data, mapping patterns and interactions. The being's glow changed in response to their actions, providing subtle hints. Aaron realized something profound. Intelligence could exist in forms beyond humanoid or machine. Life could be energy, information, or pure consciousness, and humans, with their curiosity and courage, could learn to interact with it. Suddenly, a low vibration ran through the ground. The crystals pulsed in unison, a wave of energy sweeping toward the team. The being hovered above, glowing intensely, almost like a shield. Aaron signaled the crew to stay back. Kayla analyzed the readings rapidly. "It's not attacking. It's scanning us, testing our response. The planet, the crystals, the being, they're all connected. It's assessing whether we're safe. Aaron's mind raced. Humans had faced dangerous worlds before, but this was different. Survival depended not on brute strength, but on intelligence, observation, and restraint. They could not act recklessly. They had to prove they were worthy, as explorers, as humans. The energy wave receded, leaving a single crystal glowing brighter than the others. Aaron stepped forward cautiously. The being's glow dimmed slightly, almost as if signaling trust. He touched the crystal. Information flooded his suit's sensors. Patterns of energy, historical data, and environmental readings. It was a form of communication, a record of the planet and the being's history. Kayla leaned in. It's sharing knowledge with us. This could change everything we know about life in the universe. Aaron nodded. Humanity had always sought knowledge, had always faced the unknown with curiosity and courage. And here, on this distant planet, that courage had opened a door. The team worked through the night, recording every reading, every pattern, every pulse of energy. Each discovery reinforced what humans had always known. Survival and progress came from curiosity, intelligence, and unity. By dawn, they had mapped a large portion of the crystal network. The being hovered near them, glowing softly, its pulses slower and more harmonious. It seemed satisfied, or at least trusting. Aaron realized that this was a monumental achievement. First contact with intelligent life, and a glimpse into a new form of civilization, not built from cities or machines, but from energy and consciousness. Kyla turned to him. We've done it, and we've done it without a single reckless move. Humans adapt, we learn, we survive. That's what sets us apart. Aaron smiled, exhaustion and exhilaration mixing. And this is just the beginning. We've only scratched the surface. The universe is vast, but humans, we rise to the challenge. Every time. The team returned to the landing craft, bringing with them samples, data, and a renewed sense of purpose. Humanity had faced impossible odds before, and each time they had emerged stronger. Tonight they had learned something more profound. Courage, intelligence, and curiosity were not just tools for survival. They were the essence of what made humans extraordinary. As the aurora lifted off from the crystalline planet, Aaron looked back at the glowing formations, the energy waves, and the mysterious being that had guided them. Somewhere in the endless black of space, humanity had made a connection that could redefine their understanding of life itself. Kayla's voice came through the comm. Ready to plot a course back to the ship? Or do you want to follow the trail further? Aaron grinned. We follow it. Humans explore. Humans discover. And humans never stop learning. Let's see where it leads us next. The ship accelerated smoothly, following the faint energy trail the being had left behind. Outside, the stars stretched endlessly, silent witnesses to humanity's resilience and courage. The journey ahead was uncertain, full of potential danger and wonder. But Aaron knew one thing for certain. Humans would rise to meet it. The universe had thrown a challenge their way. And humans, as always, would respond not with fear, but with ingenuity, courage, and unbreakable determination. The aurora hovered silently above the crystalline planet, following the faint trail left by the mysterious being. Captain Aaron Voss studied the navigation displays, tracing the energy pulses that seemed to form a path across the planet's surface. Every pulse was deliberate, intelligent, and oddly inviting. Kayla, he said, turning to the communications officer, whatever is down there, it's guiding us. I think it wants us to reach the source. But it's not just a casual invitation. There's a test or a challenge. We need to be ready for anything. Kayla nodded, her fingers dancing over the console. The energy readings are getting stronger. If it's a test, it could affect our systems or even the environment itself. We must proceed carefully. Aaron smiled faintly. Careful, yes, but we do not turn away. Humans survive because we face the unknown, and we thrive because we adapt. The landing craft descended slowly, the engines humming softly. Outside, the crystals sparkled, pulsating rhythmically like a heartbeat. The team had grown accustomed to the energy, feeling it resonate faintly even through their suits. Humans had always sensed patterns, learned from subtle signals, and adapted to survive. Tonight, that skill would be tested again. When the craft touched down, the being appeared immediately, hovering above the largest cluster of crystals. Its glow was brighter than before, and its pulses were rapid, urgent. Aaron stepped forward, signaling the team to stay alert but calm. "This is it," he said. "Whatever lies ahead, we face it together. That's what humans do. We do not panic. We analyze, we learn, and we act." Kayla scanned the energy readings. The crystals are responding to the being, but also to us. It's like a network, and we're part of it now. Aaron extended his hand toward the nearest glowing crystal. The being mirrored him, then pulsed its energy in response. Suddenly, a wave of light swept across the planet. The crystals vibrated, forming a network of energy pathways that led toward a towering crystalline structure in the distance. "It's showing us the way," Kayla whispered. "We follow, but carefully." The team moved forward, boots crunching lightly on the crystalline ground. Every step was deliberate. The network of energy beneath their feet pulsed in rhythm with the being, guiding them safely past unstable formations. Humans had always relied on observation, reasoning, and coordination to survive dangerous terrain, and this was no different. As they approached the towering structure, the energy pulses intensified. Aaron's suit sensors registered a massive concentration of power. This must be the source," he said, awe in his voice. "And judging by the readings, it's not just energy. It's knowledge. Information stored in crystalline form. This planet, the being, everything here, it's a living library." Kayla's eyes widened. "The being isn't just intelligent. It's a guardian. It has waited for someone capable, someone who can understand and respect this place." A sudden vibration ran through the ground, stronger than before. The crystal structure responded, sending out waves of energy. The being hovered protectively, pulsing with intensity. "Stand back," Aaron ordered. "This is a test. Humans survive because we think. Now we prove it." The team analyzed the energy waves, noting their frequency and rhythm. By observing and adjusting their movements to match the pulses, they were able to synchronize with the network. Slowly, the intensity decreased. The waves of energy transformed into patterns readable and understandable, a form of communication. Kayla gasped. "It's sharing information. Knowledge about the universe, about life, about energy itself. This is incredible." Aaron smiled behind his helmet. "Humans survive because we adapt. Humans thrive because we learn. And tonight we're learning something beyond imagination." But the test was not over. Suddenly the ground trembled violently. Crystals around them cracked, sending small shards into the air. The energy pulses intensified, erratic and dangerous. The being glowed fiercely, and its pulses began to shield the team. "Brace yourselves," Aaron shouted. The team held their ground, focusing on the rhythm of the energy and responding in kind. Humans had always faced storms, meteors, and hostile environments. Fear was useless. Only awareness, adaptability, and unity mattered. Step by step, they moved closer to the core of the crystalline structure. Aaron analyzed the energy flows, guiding the team safely. Kayla monitored the readings, adjusting the patterns of their movements to maintain balance with the energy network. Finally, they reached the central chamber. Inside, a massive crystal pulsed with energy, radiating light across the chamber. The being hovered beside it, its glow steady now, almost reverent. Aaron approached the central crystal carefully. "We've made it," he said. "This is what the being wanted us to see. We survived the test, and we understand its message." Kayla touched her console. "It's more than knowledge. It's a connection. The being, the crystals, the planet, all of it is a network, and we're now linked, able to learn and share in a way humans never have before." The being pulsed one final time, bright and warm. The energy flowed into the central crystal, then radiated outward in waves that enveloped the team. Aaron felt the knowledge, not just in his mind, but in his instincts. Patterns, history, science, understandings, all flowing into human awareness. This is a gift," Aaron whispered. "A chance to grow, to evolve, to prove what humans are capable of." Kayla nodded, tears of awe in her eyes. "And we earned it."
Humans survive because we face the unknown.
"Humans thrive because we learn from it." The waves of energy settled. The crystal pulsed softly and the being hovered peacefully. The test was complete. The team had survived, adapted, and proven themselves worthy. Humanity, as always, had risen to the challenge. Aaron turned to his team. "Let's record everything. Every reading, every detail. This knowledge will change everything. And remember, humans do not stop at what is easy. We reach for the impossible." Hours passed as the team cataloged the information. Every crystal, every pulse, every data stream was recorded. The being remained nearby, observing. guiding subtly but without interference. Humans had faced the ultimate test on this alien world, and had prevailed. As they prepared to leave, Aaron looked out over the crystalline landscape. The planet glowed softly, alive with energy and knowledge. The being hovered one last time, then drifted toward the horizon, leaving a trail of shimmering light. Kayla joined him. We've survived. We've learned. And we've proven that humans, no matter the challenge, can rise higher than any obstacle. Aaron smiled. The universe is vast and unpredictable, but humans adapt. Humans endure. Humans thrive. The Aurora lifted from the crystalline planet, the crew aboard filled with awe, knowledge, and a renewed sense of purpose. Humanity had faced the unknown, survived the tests, and gained wisdom that would guide them for generations. As the ship moved toward open space, Aaron looked out at the stars. Somewhere in the vast darkness, countless mysteries waited. Yet humans would face them, just as they always had, and with courage, intelligence, and an unbreakable spirit. The being's trail shimmered faintly behind them, a reminder that the universe was alive with intelligence, waiting for those willing to learn, and humanity was ready. In that moment, Captain Aaron Voss understood the truth that had carried their species across centuries of challenge. Humans survive because we adapt. Humans thrive because we dare, and humans, no matter the unknown, rise to every challenge the universe presents. The Aurora sailed onward, carrying the crew, their discoveries, and the eternal flame of human ingenuity into the endless night.